Yo, Benny! I don't think he's home, man. Benny, man, yo. Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm MC Savant from the Kankasaurs. You can catch me on funnyordie.com/Kankasaurs, K-A-N-K-S-O-R-Z, you know what I'm saying? But right now, it's all about Benny TV. Yo, because my boy Benny the Gagoots got his own show. And I just want to give a big shout out to Benny. And in honor of that, I'm going to do a dope-ass freestyle, man. So he's got to figure out what rhymes with Benny. 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 What rhymes with Benny? Benny. What rhymes with Benny? Benny. He's in the Serengeti. He's hunting for a Yeti and he's always on the ready. And Benny's always merry when he's eating his spaghetti. But right now he's in the desert, so his palms are kind of sweaty. His good friend Freddie, he brought him that Ben and Jerry. And Yetis, they love the Ben and Jerry. So Benny caught that Yeti and we all threw confetti. Yeah, Benny. Benny TV, baby.
All right. Benny TV, baby. How you doing?
Hey.
Well, my special guest hosts tonight are Mr. Rick Morgan, my very good friend, and also, what's your name again?
Oh,
Nigel Fullerton, who was here like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yes.
2 weeks ago,
Yes.
And they are my guest co-hosts because on this show, it's not an interview show. We
Okay.
talk about things.
All right, great.
We talk about stuff. Let's start with the intro. My friend Don Sill, who is known as MC Survive.
Right.
Right? He's part of a duo called
Okay.
Kankasaurs.
Okay.
And it's a series, a web series.
Okay.
That you can get this web series on YouTube and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious. They're like 10-minute long little shorts, and they're two like Mamalukes, all right?
Okay.
They're two Mamalukes who 10 years ago they had one hit. They had
Okay.
a one rap.
What was the
one
hit?
The hit was called "Who Farted."
I've never heard of this song before. And I listen to rap
It's
music.
fictional. It's fictional.
This was never on Hot 97.
No. But anyway, 10 years later, they want to make a comeback.
Okay.
So the web series is them
Oh.
making it. And they even go,
I get it.
I had shown a couple of shorts in the past on Benny TV. And one of them was where MC Survive and his partner are talking to this producer. And the producer says, "You don't remember me, do you?" He says, "You remember I was with a girl?" And then MC Survive was like, "Oh yeah, that hot girl." He says, "Yeah, you slept with that girl that was with me and everything." He's like, "Yeah, whatever happened to her?" And he says, "She's my wife." You know? But and then there's one episode where there's this girl singing and she has her guitar open for money, and she says, "Money for a starving artist."
Right.
So these two morons think that the money's for them. So they're like, money for starving artists, that's us. So they take the money, and she goes chasing them and beats the heck
Oh, wow.
out.
I,
But very funny show, and
I just find it weird that they, in your theme song, they say, "What rhymes with Benny?" And the first thing they think of is Serengeti. There's many things that rhyme with Benny. Penny, Henny, anything they could have used, they chose Serengeti. That doesn't even end in any.
I know. I'm going to have a new intro. I am going to have a new intro.
Hopefully they can rhyme.
But, yeah, hopefully they can.
Hopefully.
But he's fun. Like, if it comes off as, somebody who's not
Dr.
the bright...
Seuss could have wrote a better rhyme than that.
Oh, Dr. Seuss was great. So anyway, on tonight's show, I had spoken to Rick, and as you mentioned, I used to do a show like the Gagoot Show. I did
Right.
shows that were interviewed. Now on this show, we talk about movies, books, talk about comic books, graphic novels,
Okay.
different. So when I spoke to Rick, he told me a couple of movies that he liked was Lawrence of Arabia,
Right.
Dr. Zhivago, and some of the books he likes to read are historical fiction.
Solzhenitsyn, that's all,
Solzhenitsyn, who was a Russian.
probably the greatest prolific writer of the 20th century.
Oh, wow. I got to read
Really?
this. Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of books,
yeah.
big books.
Oh,
I had a collection of 3 or 4 of them, and one was A Day in the Life of
Day in the life of Ivanovich.
Denisovich.
Yeah,
Ivan Denisovich,
Yeah,
and Cancer Ward was another one.
Cancer Ward.
And but he
First
was
Circle.
he was like exile. He was in a gulag in Russia.
Oh, wow.
He was writing
in the
stuff.
Russian prison.
Political prisoner.
Political prisoner.
Okay.
And amazing writer. I read him a long time ago as well.
Well, the first book, A Day in the Life, that's what broke it open for him, and Khrushchev acknowledged him as a writer. And
wow.
you know what happened in the Gulag one day, how they survived,
Oh, wow.
and how they slept at night. They couldn't cover their heads. They had to show their heads, so if a guard came by, he'd know they were there for their counts. And
You couldn't tell by their clothes.
yeah, the Soviet,
Well, you know the old.
Everybody's wearing the same thing, so you know.
well, Solzhenitsyn has one scene where he opens one book, and it's very profound that all of a sudden they find this prehistoric fish in a block of ice.
Wow.
A prehistoric fish. And what do? They start hacking it and chipping it away so they can eat the fish. That's how starving they were. Terrible.
So, when we were talking about this, I thought, what's a great topic? Talking about historical movies based on historical fact or based on a historical moment.
Did they ever have a Solzhenitsyn movie about any of
Not
that?
that I know
think
of.
so. No,
I don't know of. There aren't that many movies about the Bolshevik Revolution. There are.
Well,
This
This happened after.
is after.
Yeah.
This is during the
Solzhenitsyn-
Soviet
Yeah,
Union.
the 40s and the 50s. He was
This is Soviet
incarcerated.
Union
Okay.
after World War II.
After World War
So
II.
post-war.
Okay.
Post-war.
They would give them like 15 years.
You know,
And if they screwed up, we'll give you another hard 10 right on top of it.
that type of movie doesn't do well in the theaters. People don't run out to see those.
Well,
are the type
usually the Russians are the bad guys in Rocky movies.
of movies.
So yeah, there's not a lot of Russian movies. There's Moscow on the Hudson,
Right.
with Robin Williams, which he comes to America. You know, there was something else. I think there was a couple Russian.
There was
movies.
Reds.
Yeah, there was Reds.
Reds,
yeah.
but that
it wasn't.
I forget. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that won. I think didn't that win? That's an Academy Award winner. Reds.
Was that where they interviewed the people right at the beginning?
Yeah,
I
during the
remember.
movie they
Yeah.
talk, and it's about the only American buried in the Kremlin, Jack Reed.
Yeah, Jack
Who wrote
Reed.
Jack Reed.
Okay.
And his
Not to be confused with Jack Ryan.
no,
In all the
not to
James
be-
Patterson
Yeah,
books.
He's out in
right.
the movie now.
Yeah,
Jack
he
Ryan.
does.
But those type of movies do well on HBO,
Right.
Or or now Netflix. Now there's so that type of movie people won't run out to see. Where a couple of movies we're going to talk about, they probably wouldn't be able to make that movie, and people
Today.
won't go today. And Lawrence of Arabia is one of them.
Okay.
The
That we spoke-
classic
Classic.
movies. They don't make movies like that anymore.
Right.
Yeah, and here's a picture of Lawrence of Arabia. This is the movie poster.
T.E. Lawrence.
It
T.
was.
Lawrence.
It's a true story about T.E. Lawrence, who was a soldier, right, in World War One.
Well, before World War One broke out, he had a mother. I think I don't know what happened to his father. I don't recall, but he went over to the Middle East. And,
Rick used to hang out with him.
He liked architecture.
He was an archaeologist.
Archaeologist, and he started to become very familiar in the Arab ways, and
Okay.
he learned a lot of dialects. And I mean, he was only like 17 years old when he first
Yeah.
went there, which in those days that was expected of a young man. Same thing with Winston Churchill and Teddy Roosevelt. You know,
Right. They left the house as a young man.
they did it. They went on
Yeah.
adventures and stuff. And
It's not like now.
yeah,
14, you're lucky if they take out the trash.
Yeah, no, they went on adventures.
they
So-
became men.
Yeah.
So he became
Young.
now T.E. Lawrence,
Which played by Peter O'Toole, right?
played by Peter
Okay.
O'Toole.
I had to
He-
look it up. I wanted to
and
make sure I was saying
Incredible,
the right person.
incredible performance.
I heard, like, that's the one movie that everyone keeps saying that the acting in that movie is just incredible.
It's incredible.
You know?
The scenery. Anthony Quinn is in it.
Right.
Omar Sharif.
Omar Sharif.
Omar Sharif.
I used to hear about this in film school all the time, which they would talk about Lawrence of Arabia and how the acting and the lighting in this movie is so, like, great.
I saw it the first time. I was young. I was a kid.
Right.
My parents took me to the theater to see it. they weren't crazy about it, but the one thing they said was the scenery was amazing. The
Right.
Incredible.
cinematography is beautiful.
That's what. Yeah, that's the one thing they
It's slow
say.
for some people. It's slow because my family, we like guys with mules and sawed-off shotguns. And
But it's for
Make them
different times. I mean, for that time, that was the
and he
premier
united.
movie, wasn't it?
He
The Arab
united
tribes.
the Arab tribes.
Okay.
And they
Okay.
went after Aqaba, which was a coastal point on the Middle East, the Sinai there. And instead, they had all their guns trained on the seas, everything else. So he led all of the Arabs in, and they attacked it from the rear. There was no defense from the rear.
Oh, wow.
And they took over the city of Aqaba.
Wow.
And
Which
of course,
was,
that changed the war. That was
Which
in
was
the works.
occupied by the Turks.
Yeah, the Turks,
Okay.
the Ottoman Empire.
Oh wow.
So
I gotta
that's
watch
a true
this.
story. Now, that movie, I would say, some of these movies that are historical aren't necessarily, that didn't really happen. But with T.
True.
Lawrence, I would say that it's close to the truth for the fact that he was a writer.
Well,
So
that-
this was
yeah.
based on what he wrote. This was
Okay.
based on his
they-
recordings where
They made reference in the movie that he was had homosexual tendencies when he was captured by the Turks.
right.
Oh wow.
And who was that? Who was that actor?
Anthony
Anyway,
Quayle.
no. He was in the movie.
He's in the movie.
Yeah.
Rock Hudson.
No. Anyway, it wasn't a famous English actor. And
Laurence Olivier.
yeah, no. Think of it after.
All right. Anyway,
I'll think of it on the way
they
home.
said that he
Alec
was.
Guinness, Anthony Quinn, Jack Hawkins.
Oh yeah, Alec
Yeah,
Guinness
Jack
is in that
Hawkins, he
movie
was,
too.
yeah.
But so I don't recall that they said that he had homosexual
Yeah,
tendencies.
well, he was captured by the Turks,
Right.
and they
So they-
tortured him a little.
So the Turks were a
And,
little homosexual. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
Well, they bring that out in another movie,
but he was. He
Midnight-
was homosexual.
Oh wow.
Midnight Express.
Yes.
Midnight
I have
Express,
heard
you-
the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the Midnight Express?
Yes.
That was a true story.
That's a true story,
wow.
but now that's fictionalized too, because at the end, spoiler alert, at the end he kills a guard to escape.
Right.
That's not how he
You
escaped.
didn't escape. You didn't escape from those prisons.
He bought his way out.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
He bought his way out because
Well, you gave him a ton of hashish.
that money, the money they stole money from that one guy that he was like a stoolie.
Well, yeah,
That one guy that was a stoolie, the one he bites the guy's tongue.
Yeah, I saw that movie 30
Yeah,
years
so-
Yeah, it's been a while
Anyway,
since I've seen
he
it.
actually they stole money from him and they used that money there's a story, but that's fictionalized.
Well, they do a lot of that stuff if you're going to tell a true story, obviously there has to be points of fiction in the story, especially if the person is still alive, or if they're not alive, they put for instance, the first thing I can think of is Malcolm X. When you
Right.
think of the movie Malcolm X, Spike Lee's character in Malcolm X wasn't a real person.
Wasn't a real person.
There was no.
But that's what I said earlier about they put a fictional character
Right.
in there so that you, the audience, you will learn because of this
That's
fictional
normally what they
character.
do.
Yeah, and in Man of Honor, that's Cuba Gooding
Gooding Jr. and Robert De
who-
Niro.
And
Yeah.
Robert De Niro, Cuba Gooding Jr. wants to become a Master Chief, and he's the first African American to
Right.
become a Master Chief.
And he doesn't have a leg, right?
He loses his leg. It's
Okay.
true story. This is true. He actually lost his leg on the ship, and still fought for it. Robert De Niro's character did not exist,
Oh wow.
so that character didn't.
So it
exist.
was like a culmination of all the chiefs that were there, I guess.
I
Yeah,
always thought De Niro was a tough guy. I always loved his movies. Everything. And then he turned out to be a rat.
That's
No politics tonight. You want to do politics? Do it on John LaRocchia's show.
But you're wearing a flag.
I'm wearing a flag. What? This is not.
There's no politics, but there's.
This is patriotic. Patriotic.
That's cool, huh?
Yeah, I'm wearing this because you did the show a couple of
What?
weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I was
and you
talking
told
about
me
your
you
jacket.
wanted me to wear I don't wear my jacket, so I told you I would wear it. And I told you that I did a show with Teddy Smith.
And he
And
kneeled.
we took pictures
Yeah.
after, and he took a knee to my jacket.
He took a knee.
Yeah. Teddy Smith, very funny, man.
That's hilarious.
All right, now, there are sometimes they make a movie and it's based on. Here's a movie that was made in 1942.
Okay.
And it was based on what actually went on in a bunch of people from France, some Americans, some dissident. Is that the word? Dissident? Or
Dissident?
they're on the run
Yeah,
from
yeah.
dissident. And they go to a place in the Congo called Casablanca.
Casablanca.
And
You mean
here is
Morocco.
in Morocco.
yeah.
Morocco.
Yes.
Well, the
And,
French had
what
a
is it?
big history. They had Algeria, they had Libya, they had all North Africa was
Wow.
part of that, and then they had the Legionnaires.
Yes.
that
Right.
would,
The
control
Foreign
it.
Legion.
Yeah, and the Legionnaires eventually they were driven back, and what the French did, they granted all these people citizenship to come to France.
Oh,
So they strangled themselves.
basically.
But at the
yeah.
time, the people that were in Morocco, a lot of French people, some other countries, they were this. You see, Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, Paul Henreid,
Yep.
and they were.
Claude
they-
Rains was in it too.
Claude Rains is in it,
Yeah,
and
Claude Rains, yeah.
Peter Lorre has
Peter
a
Lorre is in it.
Peter
yes.
Lorre has a small part in it.
Yeah, I'm googling everything.
Good,
but yeah.
good.
Did they have Sidney Greenstreet in there?
Sidney
He
Greenstreet
was,
is in it. He owns the other club, and what I love about the movie, here's a picture. This is what I love about it. The movie was made about approximately 20 years before the Civil Rights movement.
Right.
And here is a friendship that's almost brothers. It's Humphrey Bogart and Sam, who is played by
Sammy
yeah.
Davis Jr. No,
No.
I don't.
You know, I have his
I don't
name.
know.
I have his name. He was a drummer, Sammy Davis Jr. He tells me. Yeah.
The French were very tolerant of
Dooley
black people.
Wilson.
Yes.
That's Dooley Wilson as Sam. Now, he's one of the few Americans actually in the movie, and a lot of the French people in Casablanca, in the
Right.
movie Casablanca,
Right.
were people on the run from the Nazis. And it's Nazis are now in Morocco and in Casablanca looking for
Right.
looking for Ingrid Bergman's husband because he is a troublemaker. He's caused revolutions. So.
The
Now,
resistance.
The resistance, right. He's part of the resistance. Now, Dooley Wilson plays Sam, and in the beginning, Humphrey Bogart, who's Rick, Humphrey Bogart says to somebody, "I stick my neck out for no one."
Right.
Okay, I stick my neck out for no one. And Rick doesn't drink with the public. He doesn't. He just runs a great nightclub. Now, the contradiction is Rick will stick his neck out for Sam. And Sam will stick his neck out for Rick. There's a bond between them.
Right.
And what I love about it is the fact that there is no mention of color in this movie. There's no mention of race. It's you see there's flashback scenes.
The French were very tolerant with
They
black people. In fact, a lot of American artists, they would go to France.
They would go to France.
Where they were accepted as equals.
Yeah.
Which was a lot different. I mean,
Dorothy
you're talking,
Dandridge, a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
And Rick and Sam had a strong bond that
Quincy
were almost
Jones.
they always stuck up for each
Quincy
other.
Jones went to France too.
Yeah.
Oh, Quincy Jones,
Quincy
yeah.
Jones used to go there too.
Some of the female vocalists that
I
went
can't
there.
think of her name.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking
You know
about.
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
I
yeah.
saw the whole movie about her, and I cannot.
Yeah?
She used to dance with the bananas.
Oh, Carmen Miranda.
No. This is a different one.
There's another banana.
I'll find
okay,
it. But go ahead.
you Google it for
Yeah.
us.
Get that
So,
Google.
all right.
Yeah.
You know
I'll
what
find-
I want to say? I
this-
want to see that new movie coming out.
What?
White Boy Rick.
Yeah, I want to
I
see
wanna
White
see
Boy
it.
Rick.
That's me.
It's based off a true story.
Yeah, which one's that one?
It's a new movie coming out. I think
It's
next
Matthew
week.
McConaughey.
Oh, yeah.
and this other kid, and
And
they're
the kid
in
is his son.
Detroit. Yeah, they're in Detroit, in 1980s, and he becomes a big time drug dealer.
Big time.
Yeah, hanging
And
out with all black guys.
The
yeah.
family is rich because of, and he hangs out with all the black guys.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
And he starts
yeah,
selling
it's
drugs.
Matthew McConaughey's new movie. It looks interesting.
Yeah, I want to see
And,
it actually. Yeah,
And we'll talk in a minute about you saw Black Klansman.
I did see Black.
And that's a
I
historical
never saw that,
movie.
no.
It's still in the theaters. You were saying,
Josephine Baker was the name.
oh, Josephine
Yeah, right.
Baker.
Yes,
Baker,
Josephine Baker.
All right, but so in this movie though, in Casablanca, in the beginning of the movie, Sidney Greenstreet owns the other popular club.
Okay.
So he comes up to Sam as a gentleman, and he comes up as a gentleman, and he says, Sam, and to Rick. He says, Rick, I would love to have Sam come play for me, come work for me. So Rick turns around and says, well, Sam's his own man, you know, he can do whatever he wants. So they walk over to Sam, who's playing the piano, and Rick says, Sam, whatever, he had a Serengeti, he had like an Italian name. He says, he wants to hire you to work on it. And he's like, no, sir, Mr. Rick, I work for you. He says, he's willing to pay you double what I pay you. And he says, no, sir, Mr. Rick, I'll stay in.
He had a Serengeti name?
Yeah, something. Serengeti.
It was his name. Was his name Benny Gagoots?
Benny Gagoots. I don't remember his name offhand, but Sidney Greenstreet was a gentleman about it. He wanted him, and Rick was like, he's willing to pay you a lot more than I'm paying. But you find out through the movie, spoiler alert, that pretty much Sam is an equal partner in the cafe. You find out pretty much because even Rick, who won't stick his neck out for it and doesn't trust anybody, he's opening up the safe with Sam in the room. He's taking money, putting it, you know, and there are flashback scenes where Sam is looking out for Rick. Like, Rick, you can't get in trouble anymore, Rick.
Right.
You know, you're always getting. It's like they look out. So you get the feeling maybe they were in the service together. Then Rick got involved in gun running. You find out things about him, but I think that's a classic story based on all those. They're fictional characters,
Right.
but based on something that actually happened, historically happened, and the fact that the people who wrote it didn't. They were all the people in Casablanca are all the same. They're all the same. There's no. They're all the same there in Casablanca. There's no racial divide.
No, there wasn't.
They're in France or they're in Africa?
No,
They're in Africa. They're in
Morocco.
They're in Morocco, but it's French occupied.
Right.
French occupied, but now they have a trouble with the Nazis.
Okay.
Well,
So
what happened? I think the French Navy was destroyed by the Nazis.
Okay.
They thought they were invincible.
Right.
But they got decimated by the Nazis.
Okay.
And that ended their hold of that particular area.
And the French who are there in Casablanca are now refugees, hoping to escape to the United States, which was barely getting involved then at the time.
Right.
1942, right?
They weren't involved yet.
In 1942, they weren't involved because the war ended in 45.
Yeah, but
They didn't get into
December
like
7th, 1941.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's right, and when the movie was made, so it's just on that cusp. But yeah, a lot of people were trying to find passage, and that's what Casablanca's about. Is that there are these letters of transport, right, signed by de Gaulle, Charles de Gaulle, who was a general at the time. He was signed by Charles de Gaulle. I found out from somebody that there were never any letters of transit.
Okay.
They didn't exist, the letters of transit, but it makes for the story. It makes a good part for the story.
He fled to England, de Gaulle did.
De Gaulle did, yeah?
Yeah, he was ruled in absentia or whatever it is.
And I have a trailer, video. Sure. I have a video. I think we'll put it up in a second. And this is this video is the trailer of Casablanca.
Okay.
So we'll see.
All right.
And then we'll move on to another historical event.
Casablanca, city of hope and despair, located in French Morocco in North Africa. The meeting place of adventurers, fugitives, criminals, refugees lured into this danger-swept oasis by the hope of escape to the Americas. But they're all trapped, for there is no escape. Against this fascinating background is woven the story of an imperishable love and the enthralling saga of 6 desperate people, each in Casablanca to keep an appointment with destiny.
I was willing to shoot Captain Reno, and I'm willing to shoot you. All right, Major, you asked for it.
You knew how much I loved you, how much I still love you.
I know a good deal more about you than you suspect. I know, for instance, that you're in love with a woman. It's perhaps a strange circumstance that we both should love the same woman.
want for Sam?
Don't buy and sell human beings.
That's too bad. That's Casablanca's leading commodity.
You can ask any price you want, but you must give me those letters.
That's all right.
I tried to reason with you. I tried it. Now I want those letters.
Now that's a movie trailer.
All right, play it
That's
again,
a-
Sam.
Play it again. Actually, he says, "Play it, Sam. You played it for her. You can play." And another, that movie is loaded with classic lines. Another one is all the lousy gin joints and all in the whole stinking world.
Yeah.
All the stinking gin joints and all the stinking world, and she has to walk into mine.
Yeah.
Right? Which you find out there's a history between them. And Sam knows about it. So when she first walks in, I'm giving it away, but I don't care. So
If they haven't watched it by now, there's no spoilers.
The trailer makes you want to see it.
Right.
It does. And as a matter of fact, like 2 months ago, Channel 13 on a Saturday night, they had it on.
Oh, wow.
And I just was glued to. I couldn't get up. I'm like, and Channel 13 shows a movie in its entirety, no commercials, and that is a classic. A lot of great lines in it throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And it's really great acting all around. And it won many awards.
Actors.
Yeah, great actors.
Yeah, Peter Lorre.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Claude Rains. Claude Rains is he's classic. In it.
It's the golden age of Hollywood.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Now, another movie we were talking. You talked about Dr. Zhivago before. We mentioned that. You know what I want to talk about? Here's a historical. This was some part of American history, and it was a movie. I had seen this movie. Now this is when you don't read books about it, and you believe. There was a movie with Richard Harris called Man in the Wilderness.
Okay.
Richard Harris and famous director who directed.
Richard Harris did a lot of movies like that.
Right.
A Man Called Horse.
A Man Called Horse was another one.
That was a true
And,
story.
Yes. Yeah, but so was the Man in the Wilderness was a true story, and John Huston was in it, and they were taking a fur boat. They were fur trappers, and he worked for them. And what he did was he was the guy that would hunt for them and kill deer and kill animals for them to eat while they were fur trapping. And they had this boat they were dragging through dry land on wheels, and they were going to the river, and then they were all gonna. So what happens is Richard Harris shoots a deer. Hey, you coming in to join us? Come on.
Whatever you want me.
Yeah, come on in.
Yeah, we're talking about
Come on,
Casablanca.
hey, come on. We're talking. Then we're gonna. John LaRocque, everybody.
John
from
LaRocque, everybody.
Tell everybody the name of your show when you wait.
I'm
This is
surprised
Do you know Nigel?
It took me this long. I don't.
We met.
You know,
I think we met last couple weeks ago.
We did?
Oh yeah, when he was leaving.
How do I look over here?
Laughter
How do I
saves
look?
lives.
Come in here.
Not bad, buddy.
Perfect.
Come on in here. This guy is. You
good.
look up Mama Luke in the dictionary.
Mama Luke, that's me.
That's his picture right there. All right, come in, Nigel. You can come in to
Hold
me.
on, there
Thanks
All
for
right,
having
we're
me,
all
Ben.
in. Hey, thank you. John
for-
LaRocque from the name of
Laughter
your show.
Saves Lives live.
Live.
yeah.
And we have a few things we're going to talk about
We
in
do,
a second.
I'm kind of excited.
I just
Okay.
want to wrap up. I was talking about. Are you familiar with
It's your show, Benny.
Are you familiar with the movie Man in the Wilderness?
You know what?
Richard-
I'm not
okay.
a big movie buff. He said A Man Called Horse.
Yeah.
I remember that. Who was in that movie?
Richard Harris.
I remember
He
that
gets
movie.
captured by the Indians.
Was that the one where they
yeah,
got him?
they got him by and they hang him.
Yeah.
They hang him by
He
his.
was an English nobleman who
Okay.
came to America, and because he wanted to find out what was happening, and he got captured by the Indians.
But then
Oh, is that what it was?
then he
an Indian.
became a member of that tribe.
Yeah.
I
And you-
remember
And he
that.
married, right?
You were married and you learned about that tribe, which I like that. What we're talking about tonight is historical movies, and sometimes they're not always truthful. Sometimes they're not. So, Richard Harris.
I mean, they have to make them entertaining also.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Richard Harris made this movie, Man in the Wilderness. He's right in the very beginning of the movie. He's with these fur trappers. He's hunting. He shoots a deer, and he wounds it. So he's following, and all of a sudden he finds the deer is like gutted. All of it,
Right.
and there's a bear, and he gets attacked. He gets mauled by a bear, ripped apart by a bear. They sew him up, and they leave him for dead. They sew him up and leave him. But with them there is one Native American. Can't say Indian anymore.
No.
So Native American. This Native American.
Unless he's on the
puts
baseball
He
team.
puts, right.
You could
Or
say
he plays
Indian.
football.
So this redskin,
Yeah.
he puts
Number 77.
He puts like a charm on him, and he leaves him. And then later they leave him for dead, and he actually survives and comes back to, and he has to nurse himself. He has broken. They fix him up. John Huston is the captain. John Huston says fix him up, but we're
How
not
was
taking
the
him
scene
with
where
us.
he got mauled by the bear?
Yeah.
Was
Now-
that a graphic scene?
It was graphic.
What was the
but
movie that just came out?
That's what
Revenant,
I'm.
The
Yeah,
Revenant.
The Revenant.
Yeah,
Ah,
Revenant.
yeah.
The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes.
Anyway,
Rip-off.
it turns out that The Revenant
Right.
is. I'm glad you brought that up because
Thank you.
that is the actual.
I'm not just
story.
taking up space here, you know.
No.
So that's okay.
That's the actual story.
Okay.
So for all these years, I loved Man in the Wilderness. I thought it was great.
I've seen
Then
it.
I saw The Revenant with where Leonardo DiCaprio gets all mauled by a
Right,
bear,
right.
and he got an Academy Award for that movie.
getting mauled, yeah.
So, and there's more
I think
to
they
the
just
story.
gave it to him. I really do. I
like
really
they-
think they just get like, hey, listen, you were in Catch Me If You Can. We didn't give
Yeah.
you one on that one.
We
We'll
didn't
give it
give
to
you
you on
one in
this
The
one.
Departed
And in
either.
The Departed either. No.
He
We
deserved
snubbed
it.
you like a good 8 times where you did movies with Tom Hanks.
You brought that up last time. He brought up that sometimes they give the award.
Well, they do that.
I guess that's a consideration, right? Somebody's a great actor and he hasn't got an award yet. That kind of maybe
They do that.
Paul
even
Newman.
psychologically.
Paul Newman.
he
He got it for The Color of Money. And there were so many movies that
he's
Paul
done.
Newman deserved. He deserved it
Right.
in Cool Hand Luke.
Cool
He
Hand
deserved,
Luke.
right?
That was a
He
great
deserved
flick.
it in The Hustler.
Right.
Yeah,
There were so
yeah,
many
that's a good
movies
movie.
that he was passed up. So, and Robert Duvall was another great
thing.
actor. He got it for A Country Singer
Yeah. What's his name? Al Pacino got it for Son of a Woman.
when he should have gotten it.
He should have got, but
For The
that was
Godfather.
great.
Yeah, what
That
for
was
The
a great
Godfather.
role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Michael
I'm
Corleone.
just getting started, right?
Well, which one's that one?
That's Scent of a Woman.
That's Son of a Woman.
Son of a
But
Woman,
you know
yeah,
who he won
right.
over? Denzel Washington and Malcolm X.
And Malcolm
Oh,
X.
He beat him out. And then
All right.
and
Good
then
movie.
there was what else? There was a couple people got snubbed because we were talking about Denzel Washington snub because he got snubbed for Hurricane over Russell Crowe for Gladiator.
Oh yeah,
So
right.
it was like they give out like, you know, Denzel gets it for Training Day, but he doesn't get it for the other things that
Right.
he's done that are great.
That are
Now, he's
great.
going to come out in a new movie, Scarface. They want to cast
They
him.
want
saw
to,
that.
they want to do a remake of
And
Scarface.
who's going to play the role?
Denzel Washington.
That's not
Denzel
gonna work.
He's
I
gotta
don't
be.
think it's
No,
probably
but
early.
You know what?
Pacino.
Denzel Washington is a great actor. I
Yeah.
mean, he can play a role like that. It's just that you're going to be comparing it.
Yeah, but you
He's
know,
in his 60s
a lot
now.
of-
He's gonna play
He could.
Scarface.
and a lot of people don't realize Scarface is actually a remake.
A remake, yeah.
That's a remake of a Paul Muni movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Paul
Yeah,
Muni,
it
who
was.
I don't
of
know
the
Paul Muni.
Paul Muni
I
of
know
the
about-
40s, 30s.
I'm not as old as you guys. I don't know Paul Muni.
Paul-
I've heard
Okay,
of him. I've
Paul
heard of
Muni
him.
was known as the actor who did the biopics. He was the first. He did biopics of
Okay.
people that you wouldn't. Emile Zola, you have no idea who that
Thanks for adjusting the picture so now I fit in there, Bobby.
Yeah.
These guys wouldn't make room for me. Thank you.
Sure. So let me finish. So The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio is the true story.
Right.
And so I looked it up because, as I told you, I loved Richard Harris as an actor. And that movie, I find out that Richard Harris's movie is so far removed from the actual truth.
Right.
It's not. The man wasn't English. He wasn't American. The Leonardo DiCaprio stuff with the son got that really happened.
Right.
There's other
So
Richard
which one's
Harris.
better?
To me, I'm partial to the Richard Harris.
No, there you
movie.
go.
I
There you
love
go.
it, but
Well, let's not talk about this Leonardo, whatever his name
but
is.
Leonardo DiCaprio, it was a great performance. It was a great, and
Right.
it was closer to the truth. But a
Okay.
lot of these movies, they veer from the truth.
Right.
You know what, Benny? I've been writing a screenplay for 10 years. 9 years, going back and forth to LA or whatever. And it's my baby. It's my story. Then when you sit down with a writer, as they say in LA, you have to learn how to kill your babies. It's your baby.
Yeah.
They tear it apart, and they go, well, but this doesn't. But I go, but that didn't really. The gist of the whole story is true. You looking for your water, Rick?
Yeah, but,
The gist of the story is true, but sometimes you just have to kind of take some shortcuts and add a thing or two to make it flow better. And,
And then they edit it.
and they edit it, right?
Then it becomes the director's baby.
Right.
Then it becomes the editor's baby.
Listen, I've been there. I've been cut out of a lot of stuff.
Well, in the story, I'm playing it's about me.
Right.
They turned me into a fat black guy.
Okay.
Well, you can play that.
Hey, there we go. Hey, listen, they're always looking for me.
In my sitcom, truly, it was about me. They asked the black comic Cedric the Entertainer.
Okay.
He was interested in playing that sitcom. He's interested in playing me. And they go, what do you think about it? I go, yeah.
And then he turned it down for CBS.
He turned it down for Mow the Plow. Mow the Plow? What's that play called? On Broadway.
Yeah, that play.
Speed the Plow.
Speed the Plow.
Speed the Plow.
All right.
They said, meet him in the city. He's coming in tomorrow. Take him to the firehouse. Take him out to lunch. Great. Get up that morning. Bring. I decided to do Speed the Plow on Broadway.
Oh, man.
And then everything went downhill.
Well, I'm always available.
There was a writer. There was a writer that I used to like. I used to see him in panels. He said the problem with when you're writing for Hollywood is that everybody has an opinion.
Oh, yeah.
He said the person sweeping the floor comes along and they have why don't you do this?
Yeah.
I like it when the writer insists on following the storyline.
Yeah.
And if if they want it, they'll bend to what his wishes are.
Yeah.
And Rick's right. It's hard, but and I've done that with certain scenes in the thing. This scene has to stay. This scene, I've given up. I've given, but I've said this has to stay.
You know how much problems Francis Coppola had with the original Godfather?
I believe it.
And they were going to, the producer gave him such a hard time, they were going to add another director to do the action scenes.
Right.
They were going to have an action director.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were, and then when it did so, and then they made him cut it to like a 2.5-hour movie. It's a 3.5-hour film.
Right.
They made him cut out. So he cut out a lot of great scenes, and then they said when they saw the cut for they were like, no, you got to put it back. And then the producers took the credit.
Holy crap.
Then the producers took the credit for it. Oh, we added that wedding scene. We added this scene in there.
Same thing with George Lucas. I mean, they made him cut like Star Wars a lot too.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
and sometimes they change the ending. Sometimes. But anyway, John LaRocchi is here, and we're we're having a great time with the show, but we only have like 15 minutes.
all right.
John, let's talk about Laughter Saves Lives Live and Benny TV.
Teaming up.
Teaming up.
Oh wow.
For a couple of different things.
Okay.
A couple of some exciting.
Is baseball, football? What's going on?
No.
Bocce.
Look
at us.
Okay.
Look at us.
I see. Yeah.
Live pay-per-view bocce.
Who's making the gravy? What's going on here?
So what Benny and I are going to do is two things.
My family sauce. If I say gravy, they'll find me in the trunk of a Cadillac.
We're going to do two things we're working on.
Okay, yes.
On September 11th, our show falls on September 11th.
Oh,
wow.
Our show falls on September 11th.
Yeah.
So Benny and I were uncomfortable with doing a live show on September 11th. Number one, I'm going to be in the city that day. And, and I asked Benny if he'd want to do something together, and he was gracious enough to do that, and thank you very much.
Thank you. No, it was a great idea.
So what we're going to do is we're going to come in on Thursday, and we're going to tape a show. We're going to read off some names. I'm going to read my guys that were lost on 9/11, and I'm going to speak about each one a little bit. I've gotten a few names by email, and Rick, if you have anybody you'd like us to speak about or talk about, let us know.
Very nice.
I'm trying to get John Field to come into the Feel Good Foundation because he has that memorial with all the guys that were lost because of 9/11 related injuries.
And my next door neighbor happens to be a retired New York City fireman.
He sent me that email today, right?
He did? Did he send you the email?
Yes.
So he may come Thursday, and because these guys lost a lot.
You gotta wear the jacket. You gotta
Maybe.
put
We'll
this in the
talk.
clean. You gotta put this in the clean.
I'm not gonna wear the
Are there
jacket.
pants that go with this?
No. I'm not gonna wear the jacket.
He's got no pants on.
I'm gonna wear. I have pants on.
All right, so that's what we're doing Thursday.
okay.
Yeah,
We're still
so-
piecing
and
it together.
I'm going, since you guys are going to read a lot of the first responders.
Right.
I put a thing out, a post on Facebook if anybody wants me to read.
Good.
If not, I'm going to read names of people that aren't remembered, that like that tragic plane that crashed
Sure.
in Pennsylvania. I'm
Yeah.
going to read
Yeah,
all the
that
people
one, yeah.
involved in that.
Sure.
I'm going to read. I
Let's
don't know how
roll,
long
right?
we'll do it.
Let's roll.
Let's roll. They
Right.
say. I'm going to read their names. I'm going to
Good.
read the Pentagon names.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know?
still
Awesome.
trying to get somebody to come in for some simple interviews, maybe some of the widows or children or whatever, and I'm still piecing it together. And then the other thing which I'm really excited about is we're going to do an old-fashioned telethon in the
Okay.
studio out here. We're going to get a bunch of comics come in on October 6th, I think it is,
6th or 9th?
6th or 9th. My,
6th is a Saturday.
all right, it's the 9th. Sorry.
7th.
It's a
Yeah, the
Tuesday.
9th.
We're doing the
October.
I have
laughter.
a show on the 6th. That's why I know.
Okay. We're doing the Laughter Saves Lives, Virginia LaRocchia, Laughter Saves Lives, almost gala on the 19th.
Oh, wow.
Which I invited you to the other day.
Hey, what's going on?
So we're doing that on the
God.
19th.
Uh-huh.
We're raising money for the Laughter Saves Lives Foundation. We're sending a check to the Semper Fi Fund, which helps the guys that come back from overseas adjust back for
Right.
life. And we're going to do a telethon. We're going to have a bunch of comics come in. They're going to do, depending on who the comic is, a 5 to 12-minute set, depending on
Yeah,
who they
right.
are.
It's going to be
And then
short. 2 hours.
right to the
going.
donate button on the website, as opposed to GoFundMe taking whatever percent they take. The whole donation will go there.
Now, John's goal that he told me, which I think is great. He's right now he can help some people make a car payment.
Right.
He wants to help people make a mortgage payment.
Right. Well,
He wants to help. Yeah.
I had a meeting today at St. Albans Veterans Hospital. We're expanding now into Brooklyn. So we do shows in Northport every 6 weeks in the nursing home section in Northport. We do once a month at St. Albans for the last 3 years. Now we're going to be expanding to Brooklyn. We're going to be doing 2 separate places in
Oh,
Brooklyn.
wow.
So
Are you doing the Northport VA hospital now?
we do the nursing home
Oh, the
in the
nursing-
solarium.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting. In fact,
Vin-
Patty G's getting a date as we tomorrow probably.
Vince and I used to go up there all the time.
I know. And it's what we did, Rick, is they moved it to Saturday at 2:00. We had 38 family and patients there last week.
Beautiful.
That's a nice little crowd for that place.
Yeah.
Because normally we do St. Albans, we're getting the locals, we're getting maybe 12 to 15. So I was really excited about that. So
So we're doing the telethon, and then we're promoting the show.
the
on
gala, the
gala.
veteran shows, go to your donate button.
And for the gala, you can right now you can still get space on the.
We're selling the journal ads. We
Journal
just got
ads.
a few in tonight. Patty brought some in. Journal ads for sale. to
I'm
support us.
working on the artwork of mine, but I'm getting a full page.
Thank you.
And my wife
Thank
and I,
you.
we're going to.
And he'll
Thank
be
you
wearing
very much.
pants in this.
Photo.
Yes, yes. You're wearing
with
pants.
my son and I, we're
Okay.
I'm getting a logo made with because Ryan and I do the
Yeah.
show a lot.
And we're
Awesome.
looking for a large sponsors
Awesome.
to move forward. Because like Benny said, I'll give you an example. Mandalay Bay shooting. Okay, there was a young firefighter in the crowd with his girlfriend.
Right.
I was out there teaching.
Oh, wow.
I teach for Homeland Security because
Okay.
I'm very smart. Okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I was
Very
out, right,
good.
Rick?
Yeah, right.
So I'm out there teaching, and I said, "Hey guys, is there anybody?" Yeah, this guy. He was shot in the foot.
Wow.
Continued to help people evacuate till he couldn't walk anymore.
Yeah.
How to
Wow.
reconstruct his foot. So if you know anything about firemen, they depend on their overtime and their side job.
Yeah.
So for 4 or 5 months, he couldn't work overtime or
Oh,
side
wow.
job. So what we did was I said to him, "What bills you have?" Well, I got this car, whatever. We'll make 3 payments on your car.
wow.
Beautiful.
Now, what I'd love to do is go, we'll make 3 payments on your mortgage. Really make a difference. And that's only going to happen if we get a large sponsor. And
Listen, a car payment is still
Oh, it
awesome.
helps. They're very
3
appreciative.
car payments
Should
is
do it for
awesome.
comics.
What's that?
You should do it for comedy.
I know. Hey, listen, if they get shot in the foot, I'll do it for them.
Comedian is a non-profit organization. I don't know if you heard.
I've only got a book thrown at me once. I haven't gotten shot yet on stage, but at the brokerage years ago, I got a book thrown at me.
Yeah, they threw.
And I did get my tires slashed once at a gig in Pennsylvania. 3
Really?
tires.
Wow.
That happened to you
Tires.
too?
Yeah. 3
They
tires.
slashed tires out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was in
man.
Easton.
Yeah.
Home of Larry Holmes.
So
I
anyway,
met Larry.
Benny and
In
I
Easton.
teamed
He
it
owns
up.
the whole
Yeah,
town.
with
Yeah, I
the,
know.
I'm excited about that.
this is the Rick and Nigel show right now.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's okay. No,
I mean,
that's awesome.
That
honestly.
is. I'm so happy
That's
to have all
an
you
accident.
guys on
Yeah,
the show.
Larry
I
was
really am.
very, very gracious
But the-
to us.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's cool. And
He
Larry
owned
Holmes,
the theater. He owned the hotel.
he had the. I
owned
saw
the
his
whole-
house, his mansion, and he had a jockey. You know how years ago they used to have the black jockey
Yeah.
holding the lantern? He had a white one.
That's funny.
And I thought that was so cool. I thought
He
I
had
was like,
a white secretary. Mary, get these guys
Larry,
Coca-Colas.
you know what? Larry Holmes was a class act as a boxer. He was because we were talking before the show. I don't know if anyone remembers. He fought Tex Cobb, who
Yes.
Tex Cobb was known as a good kickboxer, but in this fight, Larry pummeled him to the point where
Outboxed him.
his eyes were
Closed.
Yeah.
Who was the Bayonne bleeder?
Oh,
was
that guy. He
Was that
fought.
Cooney? That wasn't Cooney.
He
That
fought
was
Muhammad.
Cooney. Cooney was from
that
Huntington.
Cooney?
Yeah.
No, no, that guy, the Bayonne bleeder, fought Muhammad Ali, I believe.
Steve would know. Steve's
Yeah.
a boxer. When he's on the guy on my show.
Oh, yeah?
You believe it? Yeah. He would know.
Yeah, but so with that though, with the boxing, I remember Larry Holmes in the final round didn't even go near him, and I remember Howard Cosell pretty much said that he was done with
back to
boxing.
Howard
Was
Cosell
that
again.
with Cooney?
I know his
What?
grandson.
He
No.
was a character.
Yeah.
Howard, I
We all went
liked
up for
him with
soda
I liked him with Muhammad Ali because
Yeah.
they had a
Good rapport.
They had a good rapport. They acted like villains with each
Yeah.
other, but they really helped
From what
each
I
other out
heard,
from what-
like Muhammad Ali used to come to the house all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
supposedly
But I
they
remember,
liked each other.
I remember
they
the
did.
first time he fought Frazier, and he's like, Muhammad, so what are you gonna do with this fight with Frazier? He says, right after I hear the bell, I'm jumping over the ropes and beat on Howard Cosell. I never forgot
Was
that.
that the Thriller in Manila?
There might have been. And then,
What one was that? The
Yeah.
third one? The
The
Thriller?
third one
Thriller
was
in
the
Manila.
Thriller in Manila, yeah.
Now
Yeah.
the one in Africa too.
and he had the little Larry, his doll, his little
Larry
Frazier,
Holmes doll.
no, Joe Frazier doll,
Yeah.
and he was beating it. Yeah, but
That's great.
Yeah, no, this with Laughter Saves Lives. I'm glad you came on so we could talk about it because we're teaming up, and anybody, just all you have to do is write on Facebook, write on the show. You could write, say, Benny, well, I'm interested in
Right.
in reading some having you read some names
Right,
off.
send us a little
and
statement.
then you send me a statement, private message me.
Yeah,
and,
something like Joe Smith. He coached baseball in Belmore for 15 years. A wonderful guy, good family man.
because
you know.
this is a great idea because originally at first I told John, I texted him, I said, listen, I don't want to do a show. I just didn't feel right doing a live
Right,
show.
and neither did I.
And he didn't either. And then he said, but he was going away, so I was going to show a rerun.
Right.
I was just and I
And
was
then even a
thinking of-
rerun. Some
Yeah.
people may not know it's a rerun. They
Yeah,
look
so
at it,
this
look at
is
these
start
guys.
So this
mentioning
way,
stuff, yeah.
so this way we do something that I think is
And
really
Benny,
nice.
to be honest, I think it's a little different for you than for me as a fireman doing a little silly thing that night. I don't know why. I think I need to show even more respect.
Yes,
You know,
and I didn't want
does that
to-
make sense?
Is
You
that
know,
time?
no, but
Yeah.
Is that
no, but I felt the same. I felt
Now you
the
know
same
that-
way. Even though I didn't lose, you know, I knew a lot of firemen when I was a bartender, but I haven't seen them in years,
Right,
so
right.
I don't know. You know, they may have become victims, but
I don't recall the college, but there's a college which is suspending any mention of 9/11 because they don't want to offend Muslim students.
It's probably the college I went to because there was nothing but Muslim students
That's
on
sad.
9/11 when it
no,
happened.
but you know what? No, but that's nonsense.
Yeah.
That's nonsense. This is America. You're in America now.
That's right.
And we're here. We want to pay our respects to people.
I tell you,
That's
when-
right.
it's funny.
So when he told me about this idea, I thought that's brilliant. That's
when the
great.
when the calendar changes to September, I feel it.
You change.
Oh,
Let
yeah.
down, right?
I feel the weight of September.
Yeah,
As we get closer.
We all remember where we were
Yeah.
at one
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
just
yeah.
want to get through it. You just
I
wanna
went
get
to
through
my
it.
printers. I always watch the television every morning. That was one day where I didn't. And I went to my printers, and as soon as I walked in, he had it on the radio. He said, "We've been attacked." At that moment, Janet called up, and she saw it on TV. It was like shock.
Yeah, no, it was shocking. I remember. And then we bought a house and we moved in a year later. And our next door neighbor is a New York City fireman. And Nancy was coming home and saw him trying to do something in the front yard, and he was like very shaken up. And he was putting together a memorial because, like John, he lost a lot of friends there, you know, a lot of brothers. So, and Nancy helped him because she said he was just so, overwrought, so distraught.
You gotta get Billy Bingo.
What about Billy?
You gotta get him on your show.
He's in Florida, though, right?
Well, he may
Well,
be
he
up here
comes
now.
up here.
Yeah.
He may be up now. Yeah, we could call Billy. Let's
He'd
Steve
be
do that.
perfect.
Steve is
I
good
mean, he
friends
was
with him.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. at 9/11.
Well, no, actually, Billy Bingo's story is he retired the day before 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he went back after.
But he went back, yeah.
to
Everybody
help.
went
Everyone
back.
went back.
Everyone went back. A lot of people.
You went back.
Well, I was. Mine is an
You were
interesting
saved.
story that I was off.
You were saved.
I was supposed to work.
Yep.
Changed my schedule due to my daughter that I just moved into college,
Yeah.
by the way, Olivia, and had nobody to watch her. So everybody was lost. So I would have been with them.
Yeah, you would have been there.
So
God
Anyway.
saved you.
yeah, well, he should have said. People say that, Rick, but then oh, you're here for a reason. Well, they should have been here for a reason too. But I always say I am here, so let me do something good.
That's right.
And what you're doing is
You
beautiful.
know,
Really.
but I got
What
help.
you-
I got my guys. Everybody's
Yeah.
been wonderful, and
Yeah, and I'm here to help you.
I know you are.
awesome.
Yeah.
I know you are. And I
Anyway,
appreciate
we're running out of time here.
So looks
So-
like Zhivago and
That's it. We talked history. Now I think gonna end with a video
A song?
from a song. Yeah, no, gonna end with a video from a science fiction film.
Oh, all right.
Okay, with Raquel Welch.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
For instead of people going inside of a woman, Raquel goes inside of a man.
Hey.
Fantastic Voyage.
Oh,
Let's
cool
see. Here we
movie.
go.
Cool
Cool.
movie.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Good
Thank
night.
you for watching. Good night.
Watch Laughter Saves Lives.
You are listening to the sound of a completely new screen experience, a startling new kind of excitement. As 20th Century Fox plunges you into the most incredible adventure that man could ever achieve. To make a motion picture that crosses a new frontier may seem impossible today. Outer space, the depths of the sea, the bowels of the earth, the past, the future, all have been subjects for the camera. But now, a film called Fantastic Voyage has broken through in an unexpected direction to create an adventure of astonishing suspense and beauty.
One of the miracles of the universe.
Its vital news story sweeps down from the sky. Then it drops the bottom out of the world you know and understand. As a beleaguered nation desperate for survival launches a journey you can never erase from your memory.
We need you for security purposes, Mr. Grant. They know they've failed to kill Benish. Security thinks they'll try again, first chance they get.
A woman has no place on a mission
I
of this kind.
insist on taking my technician.
You'll take along who I assign.
Don't tell me who I'm going to work with.
4 men and a beautiful girl, off on a fantastic voyage, actually entering inside the human body, exploring an unknown universe, unknown dangers.
They're tightening. I can't breathe.
24 seconds left. After that, you're in danger of attack. Come on.
It's sheer suicide for all of us.
You are there with them, sharing a breakthrough in motion pictures.
He's gone.
If you thought it was too late to discover something entirely new on the screen, Fantastic Voyage will be a stunning experience. For you are going where no man or camera has ventured before. And when you come out, you may never look at yourself in the same way again.
Give me your widest beam. Full power.